There will be necessary setbacks and tribulations on the journey of life. Xiefeng. September 6, 2022. There are different levels of life. The more perfect a life is, that life will be in the higher level space, and the more flawed a life is, that life will be in the lower level space. We are reincarnated into the world because we have flawed lives. If flawed lives want to return to the high-level life space, they need to go through some necessary setbacks and tribulations. The so-called flawed life mainly refers to the life with debts. Whether these debts are in heaven or on earth, they must be repaid. This is stipulated and restricted by the law of the combination of positive and negative energies of the universe is zero. From which we understand that in the lifetime of a human, his main task is to pay off his debts. After the debt is paid off, he will return to heaven. If his debt is not paid off, he must continue to reincarnate in the world. If he not only fails to pay off his debt but also owes more debt, he has to go to live in a space that is lower than that of a human being. The life structure of human beings is born with the function of selfishness. If the life does not have the function of selfishness, it will live forever in heaven. Due to selfishness, it is very difficult for people to repay debts, so Tao arranged some setbacks and tribulations for people to repay debts with. This is determined by the fairness of Tao. So, what we need to understand is, there will be necessary setbacks and tribulations on the journey of life. As the saying goes, as we live in the complications of the human world, we have to adapt ourselves to changing circumstances, which means that 8 or 9 out of 10 things in life we encountered are unsatisfactory, and only 1 or 2 out of 10 things make us happy. When living to the age of 60 or 70, 70 or 80, and reminiscing about the imprints of the past years, people will often sigh and have regrets. In fact, this is a very normal phenomenon. Even if one can start all over again, there will still be a lot of unsatisfactory things that occur. Setbacks and tribulations are unavoidable, because that is the fair arrangement of Tao. Who wants to be a pig? The problem is not whether you want to or not, but if you have to be a pig. When a person owes a huge amount of debt, and he cannot repay the debt at all with conventional ways, then it will be arranged for him to be a pig, to dedicate his blood, meat, bones, and fur, and even to go under a knife to repay his debt, so he can return to the world to be a human again. Everything in the world is a constant. No matter how big or small a circle is, from a small one like the eye of a needle, to the large one that encompasses the Milky Way, the ratio of its circumference to diameter is always a fixed number. Various kinds of life, from a bacterium to an earthworm to a person, everything of its life is a constant. Even the water on the earth, whether it is torrential water or it has been dried for 1,000 years, its total amount is a constant, or is a constant quantity. It can be seen from this that the total amount of food a person eats in his life is a constant, or constant amount. When a person consumes the total amount of food at the age of 30, he will definitely starve and die. If the total amount of food is consumed at the age of 70, but he lives frugally and never wastes a grain of rice or a mouthful of grain, then if he is destined to die at the age of 70, but because his total amount of food has not been consumed, his death can only be delayed. The same is true of setbacks and tribulations, which can also be called a life balance mechanism, just like if in this world, a certain governor embezzled and accepted 200 million yuan in bribes, and then was arrested and put in a prison or sentenced to death, and all his property was confiscated. This is fair and just. Or make him terminally ill, or drive him to commit suicide, or let him live day and night without peace. In short, the mechanism of Tao will keep the constant of life rigorous and eternal. Flowers bloom and wither, and the tide rises and falls. The moon tells us that there is only one full moon in a month, and the waning of the moon is a regular phenomenon. Therefore, in the face of tribulations and setbacks, we must maintain a calm mind, and even maintain a joyful mind, because that is repaying debts. Borrowing debts is easy and to repay them is difficult. Debt repayment is painful, but no matter how painful it is, you must repay the debt with joy. Frustrations and tribulations are almost inevitable, but they can be reduced to the point where you can bear them. The best way to alleviate setbacks and tribulations is to generate merits, and the best way to generate merits is to give and dedicate selflessly. There is no other way. If someone makes you unhappy, and that is also a tribulation.